What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of BlockHash here at Blockchain Futurist. I have another awesome guest on today, Jay Rogers with Infineo, to talk about life insurance on-chain, what that means, and what to expect in 2026. So, Jay, welcome to the show. Pleasure to have you on.
Thanks
here.
so much, man. It's great to be here.
Yeah, likewise.
Awesome.
To kick it off, we'd love to know a little bit about yourself. I'm sure people would love to hear a bit about your background. So tell us a bit about you and, what piqued your interest in both Web3, life insurance, and how that kind of all came together for you.
Yeah, man. No, great question. Thank you. So it's funny. I was just telling somebody this is my first blockchain conference I've been to. My background is in traditional finance. So I had started a company that raised a lot of capital in the life insurance space. We developed the first of its kind securitized pool of life insurance assets. And when we hit the $1 billion mark, we knew that the next phase of our business was going to be to build the technology to tokenize life insurance. We knew that moving insurance on chain and everything that the chain enabled with transparency, with speed, we knew that was going to be a massive component to the next phase of our business. And so we started to look to build that out. And at that time, we realized that another company had already started building this technology. So a year ago right now, it was actually November 7th of last year, we met and signed a letter of intent to merge with Infineo. And that took place in December of last year.
Nice.
And it really catapulted both of our businesses forward 3 years in terms of what our roadmap showed and what we were attempting to do. And the past year has been just unbelievable growth, rapid adoption, and we're one of the largest RWA growing firms in the world right now.
Nice. Congrats on that, by the way.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
What can you tell us about Infineo? Is that something, because you said you merged with it, right?
Yep. So Infineo is a global fintech focused on blockchain and AI technology. And so everything that they have built is developing the technology to fully tokenize life insurance, moving life insurance on chain. In addition, developing the AI technology and LLM base to be able to provide insight and guidance to people on how to use life insurance, how to take their existing life insurance assets, which is really, it's a multi-trillion-dollar industry, right? Globally.
Like 3 trillion, something like that.
It's massive. And it's a totally misunderstood industry as well. It is truly the purest form of blue chip collateral in existence. Banks love cash value. And here's the crazy thing. Banks own massive amounts of life insurance on their balance sheets to be able to manipulate and use collateral swaps. And it's all above board. Obviously, it's, these traditional financial institutions that are using them. Our largest clients are credit unions, right? And the ways that they utilize life insurance to retain key people or to drive yield on their balance sheet, the ways that they can pledge these assets to be able to have collateral to do other things. And what's amazing is by building the technology to tokenize these assets and enabling retail individual users the ability to move these assets on chain, what's so exciting is these people can participate now in the same types of financial maneuvers that large banking institutions do, right? Through pooling assets, through pledging assets. I don't know about you, I'm sure you were involved in this. I dipped my toe into the water of Web3 and blockchain in 2021 and participated in, dabbling in NFTs and different altcoins and staking and pledging and all these types of things, right? And like a lot of other people there, with some things that I did looking back, I probably deserve to have lost everything. The things that I plugged my wallet into, right?
Yeah.
And so what's really cool is this next phase, what's coming, is individuals being able to stake traditional financial assets with trustworthy entities on chain and being able to drive additional true yield by staking those true real world assets. It's going to be, the impact on the industry is going to be massive. And like I said, the best way to describe it is enabling retail users to leverage institutional financial maneuvers. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah.
It does. Interesting. The $3 trillion insurance industry it's old, it's archaic, it's something that's been around for quite a while. Like, how do you go about, in a tangible way, tokenizing it? Like, what's the process kind of underneath doing so? And is the main benefit for individuals, or could it be for companies maybe to offer to their employees who are looking for certain insurance purposes? Or what's kind of the scope of what you can do here?
Absolutely. So given what we're developing and where we are in the phase, I'm going to be a little bit cryptic here on some of this, but the way to think about it is life insurance, again, it's extremely misunderstood. Why do the wealthiest people in the world all own massive amounts of life insurance? Why do the wealthiest institutions all own and manipulate life insurance for tax beneficial purposes, for balance sheet manipulative purposes? The reason is it's broken into different components that the government utilizes differently, right? So for instance, just think cash value, living value benefits, real world assets that I can pledge, that if I were to pledge and then default, the institution could take, right?
Yeah.
Or think death benefit, something that will be there in the end once I die, which is, stated death benefit is a non-taxable asset, right? Depending on how you structure it and utilize it, it's not going to be taxed when it gets paid out. And so being able to enable people on chain to toggle what it is that they really truly want, right?
Yeah.
You've got some advisors out there who are advising, buy a bunch of whole life insurance to somebody who might not be able to afford it. Then you've got people advising, no, I hate life insurance, buy term and invest the difference with me. And all these different, competing thoughts. Well, what if I could just toggle how I want to have this asset developed? On chain, there's you have, whether it's a life coin and an afterlife coin, right? And you're able to toggle those things to suit your specific needs. That's where the AI piece comes in, right? So the ability to have an AI element or a literal agent that you could speak with, meet with. I mean, I'll never forget, individuals, when I was selling life insurance right out of school over a decade ago, the kind of awkwardness of people telling you about their financial picture. Well, now it's an autonomous agent that you're speaking with, that's helping you, that's guiding you, that's giving you input, right? I think about sectors that will be disrupted by AI. I think the personal planning financial advisor sector is a massive one, because it's one that is, by its nature, essentially a useful pyramid scheme. And you've got people getting hired out of college. That industry, I was a partner, I hired tons of people.
Yeah.
It's throw spaghetti against the wall and see what sticks, right? They sell their friends and family and then they're out. And now who's managing my asset, right? So if I could have an AI element that helps advise me over the course of life, that doesn't mean you never work with people, but it does mean that you have kind of a place that you can go to kind of get input on the other input you're receiving, right?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up AI. Agentic is going to be massive. I think it's going to hit most people like a ton of bricks going into the new year, because it's something that's very new that people don't fully understand quite yet, but can really revolutionize, I think, a lot of different areas in the RWA space.
Yeah.
Life insurance being one of those. How do you see these things kind of connecting in the future? Like the future of RWAs, maybe couple that with like agentic AI. I imagine there's a lot of different routes this can kind of turn into, but life insurance being one of them. What else can you see coming out of this space?
It's a great question. So I'm speaking on the Agentic AI panel tomorrow.
Nice.
And, I think I'm probably a little bit of a contrarian viewpoint to this. It is going to be massive. But frankly, when you think about it from a traditional financial institution element standpoint, it's not there yet. And they will do whatever they can, many of them, to slow its progress, because Agentic AI is understandably going to be viewed as a threat to a lot of the systems they've built.
Yeah.
Right? And in addition, there's also some real concerns around when I give AI, multiple steps of autonomy and control, what could go wrong, right? I remember, I've worked at New York Life, I've worked at Mass Mutual, I've worked at major institutions that have put millions of dollars into their compliance divisions, right? All of the components that go in there, controlling what their agents do, right? And so I think about this from the standpoint of a compliance division. I think about this from the standpoint of a investment management division, and how those institutions and those spaces are going to be able to monitor each following step, right?
Yeah.
How do they make sure it doesn't go awry? How do they manage the risk, right? In terms of a legal risk, the compliance, how do they manage liability, right? Those are going to be the things we need to work out, and it's going to get worked out now. I was saying to the moderator for the panel tomorrow that I believe AI is in the 2021-2022 crypto cycle. It's like a cycle behind, right?
Yeah,
that
like the excitement is there, but it's not fully.
Totally, it's there, but some people are going to lose their shirts, right? Depending on what they do, and so it's being careful, not being. A lot of people want to dive in head first. That's okay in some instances, I think, and I don't want to tell people what to do, but I do think people need to be careful, because it's going to take time. The trust in agentic AI is not where the trust in blockchain tech is, right? I'll give you an example of this.
Sure.
A few years ago, a lot of companies, what they started doing was behind the scenes implementing blockchain technology. A great example of this is Figure.com, right? In implementing mass adoption of moving HELOCs on chain, right? Multi-billion-dollar company. Their clients had no idea their HELOCs were on chain. They didn't need to. It was simply utilizing superior technology, right, behind the scenes to help them implement. Now, I think that's what's coming next with AI. It's institutions using it behind the scenes, making sure that it's not creating additional liability, right, and helping them in implementing with these types of things.
Interesting. And then, well, obviously we need to go to your panel tomorrow.
Yeah.
This is fascinating.
Yeah.
What else are you guys doing here at Blockchain Futurist? Are you looking for more partners? Are you spreading the good word? Looking for users for tokenized life insurance? What's kind of the overarching agenda for you guys?
Well, it's funny, coming from the traditional finance world, I'm just interested in meeting people who understand where this is going. The intersection of Web3, of blockchain, and traditional finance is what's so interesting to me. Because there's so much capital on the sidelines right now that's looking at what to do. And we're in a unique position. We've built our firm and our fund in a way where we have no capital needs. So we're strictly looking to meet people who are interested in building. We're partnering with different real estate entities that have massive actual real world asset real estate portfolios that they're tokenizing. They're working with us on stablecoin production, stablecoin swap, right? Utilizing different elements of assets that complement each other, right?
Yeah.
And so that's another major thing that I see is how can the TradFi spaces that are coming into this space work with each other, benefit from what each other have built, right? And help to catapult forward. Because again, some places may want to use collateral swaps, right? Not on an added risk standpoint, but from a regulatory standpoint, what makes the most sense for what they're implementing, right? And that's all a TradFi discussion.
Yeah, it's funny. We were just at Money 2020 last week talking with a lot of the TradFi crowd about very similar topics to this. You guys weren't at that, were you? That would have been fantastic for you guys.
Yeah, no, I wish we had gone. That's interesting.
Yeah. And no, I'm sure there's some amazing companies here you guys probably be able to get connected to and meet a lot of interesting folks that are interested in the same stuff. So,
absolutely.
No, I appreciate this. It's been a really good conversation. What's on the horizon for you guys going into 2026? What do you want to focus on? Is it more or less the same on tokenization of life insurance, or are there some other things you guys are kind of dipping your toe into?
Yeah, I think it's a good question. I think we have succeeded to this point focused really on institutional, while developing the technology to tokenize any and all life insurance assets to real world assets. And so our focus is going to maintain on the institutional partnerships, relationships there, continuing to develop these pools of assets, but at the same time behind the scenes building for retail users to be able to implement and leverage the technology we've developed. I think that's going to be massive. We love the mass adoption from an institutional standpoint, but from my standpoint, what I'm most excited about is how will this impact everyday people? Because the trillions of dollars that are out there, the majority of that is everyday people, right? That are using this stuff. When you kind of bring the masses together, there's so much there. And if we can develop something, right? Added value is what translates into adoption. And so we want to make sure that we're truly adding value to that end user, that we're adding value to the retail user, to the individual life insurance buyer, right? That person who bought a $300,000 whole life policy from their friend when they got out of college, right? How can they better leverage that asset, right? And drive more yield and have a greater impact on their financial future. That's what we want to help people do.
It's very exciting what you guys are working on. There's been so much talk about RWAs in general, and I think tokenizing life insurance is a good next step because there's so many other sectors that are much like it that have stagnant capital, right? That's stuck and they can't really move, and that isn't on chain, that is worth trillions, tens of trillions of dollars, maybe even more than that. But it's a very exciting space, and looking forward to what you guys continue to do here in the industry. Where do people go to keep up with Infineo? Is the website the best place to go? Socials, community, or where would you send people?
Yeah, I would send people honestly to our website, Infineo.ai. I would send people to our socials, right? I'm J__Rogers on X. Our LinkedIn's, take a look at, following our companies on there. Infineo, Life Notes is the product that we've been implementing institutionally, where institutions are moving assets into a pooled engagement. That's where to best find us.
Awesome. We'll put everything in the description for the episode below so everyone can find you guys very easily. But again, Jay, appreciate the time, man. And enjoy the rest of the event. And I'm sure we'll see you around and at the talk tomorrow too.
Definitely, man. Thanks so much. It's great to meet you, Brandon.
You too.
Thanks.